What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of NOIZ.I Talks with Friends. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for continuing to watch the channel. It really means a lot. Learned so much throughout this year, and it has been quite a ride with these episodes. We'll have a recap sometime soon. But today, we have a very interesting person, to say the least. A person, again, I've had a lot of sport rivalries in high school. He was one of them, even though we were on the same team, people. We were on the same team. But yeah, he was a sport rivalry. Just because I also had a big head. Like, I never believed anyone was better than me, but I can humbly say he was better than me because he cared about it. He was a sport nemesis, co-founder of Halftime Hoops with Tariq. He is now an assistant coach at Baldwin Wallace. Yep, an assistant coach at Baldwin Wallace. A person who is very humble, to say the least. How he carries himself is something that I admire. Why did I stutter so much? It's been a while, people. It's been a day for real. But someone I very admire a lot, and I think how he carries himself, he's just a very cool person to talk to and be around. I was just talking to him off of camera about he is probably the reason why I wanted to start streaming, because a few years ago he would do like streaming on Twitch with like games, and I was very interested. I was like, man, like, you low-key made me want to start streaming. But super long intro. But today we have Jameel Cosby. Welcome to today. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me.
No problem. No problem.
Be on the episode.
Yeah, he asked me. He was like, man, let me get on one. I was like, oh boy, I don't. And it was very interesting because like I don't even. At the time, I didn't know what to ask him, because like even like when I was writing the questions, I was like, what do I ask this guy? Because I literally, and I'm always honest, people. I never know what to ask anybody, like, especially if I don't know them on a personal level, because it's like I don't know if like certain things are like touchy or anything like that. So like these questions are literally out of obviously surface level, because I don't know. But hopefully today we will both learn more about Jameel. Do you want to say anything before we start?
No, man. I'm just ready.
Nah, okay, forget that, bro. Who are you? What do you do? Whatever.
I'm Jameel Cosby. Everybody calls me Mills. That's what I go by. A lot of the time. Currently a graduate assistant at Baldwin Wallace, like he said. So coaching, training players on the team. I'm in master's school, so a little busy life. I played 4 years at Bluffton University. Had a great career, as some people would love to say. I was a 1,000-point scorer.
I want to say, bro, you better brag about that 1,000 points, bro. Go ahead.
1,000-point scorer. I was first team twice. I think the biggest thing I'm proud of through those 4 years is I was Dean's List, I think 3 or 4 times, and I was the conference all academic team my last 2 years. I really say I was more proud about that than on the court. Obviously, I was proud about on the court, just getting to see myself develop. But that's just something like I feel like that just sticks a lot more.
And why is education so important to you? That's something I actually never did know. Like, why is education so important?
Just my mom was always hard on me about school and my grades in high school, and I'm a young teenager, so I'm not listening to anything she's saying. All I cared about was trying to talk to females and hoop and be with my guys. Like, that's all I cared about. But my mom was always on me like, no C's, no this and that, and like I was getting C's. I got D's in some of my classes my senior year, so like I ended school with like a 2.9, and it was hard getting money off to play college basketball because my GPA was low. I scored low on the ACT. So, I had to take out bigger loans for myself and my parents. And I almost didn't get in or get to go to Bluffton because of how expensive it was. But my dad took out a parent loan. So with that, like, when I got to school, Our head coach was big on us about our grades. We had grade sheets. They were grade checking. I had study tables. Like, so, and I think, I don't know this for sure, but I think I do, but I don't think my parents graduated with the degree. So, just, and
Being that first generation is important to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to make my grandparents on my mom's side. I never really got to meet them, and I just always stood to myself like I want to do something to make them proud as well. So I really took my grades serious when it came to college. So I always made sure I had my work done, everything else done before I did anything else.
And then because you were in college, how important is student athlete? Like, a lot of people think being an athlete is just the main priority. Like, if you're an athlete, you're allowed to fail at some classes because the teachers, they see that you're doing so well in this. But for a person who had to really learn that, grades were top priority and then athleticism, how was that, like, how was the balance from being a student athlete for you?
I just think with our head coach kind of drill it in, and it's like school's first. Like, I'm here to get a degree and play basketball. Like, he always made sure he put getting a degree first. He said our priority should always be school and basketball. So when it came to like my grades and stuff, how I want to word it, it just being a good student and having good grades builds more connections, and people remember you by that than you being a good basketball player. Like, at the end of the day, I play Division III basketball, so if that's the only thing you know me by, it's not going to get you far. I still have connections with professors I went to school with, not only that I had in school at Bluffton, because of how I acted in class. I always had my work in. I did good in grades. I really had a good connection with the professor my freshman year, and she hired me as her mentor for her class my following year. And, I think just building a connection in the classroom is more important than just being known for.
Yeah, and I feel like just connections in general, because that's something we were also talking off camera, is like, you building a relationship with people is a lot more than what you're known for. Because, like, if you're not a good person, it'll show in whatever that you're doing.
And I feel being, people will know you more as a good student. I feel like that just gives you a better representation.
Yeah, it shows your actual true character.
Mm-hmm.
So student athletes in college, high school, please understand the severity of you being a student athlete. Grades are important, especially if you're going to go to college or go to the whatever you want to do. Like, being academically sound is important.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that.
It's going to get you farther in life
than sports,
else.
yeah. Unless you got that God-given talent.
Yeah.
But okay, 6 questions. For people who don't watch the episodes, we do 6 questions. The interviewee has no idea what they are, just because of authentic, real conversation. Jameel is here. We thank him for coming. For people who are watching, like, comment, subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000. So let's continue to grow that. 6 questions. Jameel, are you ready?
Ready, man.
All right. Question number 1. Outside of sports and media, who is Jameel? I feel as if a lot of people know the surface version, but who are you internally?
Oh, man. Starting it off like that.
And let me, because I always like to give the interviewee like an understanding of why I put the question. Is because, like, again, first of all, I know nothing about this guy. Like, I know nothing about you at all. So it's like, when I see you, it's very halftime hoops, student athlete. That's all I know. Literally, that's all I know. So outside of all that, who are you as Jameel? Forget sports, forget what you're doing. Who is Jameel?
Oh, man. Like, I think that's just like a perfect way to describe me. Like, if you see me or hear about me, it's just sports.
It's just sports. Yeah.
I'll say outside of that, man, biggest priority is family. I'm a big family person. Like, if you follow me, Snap, most of the time, I'm always posting about my nieces. I'm always posting about, like, my nephew. I had a niece born in 2019, right before COVID hit. And so when COVID hit, I really got to be around my family more.
You have siblings?
Yeah, I have a older half brother. Not a lot of people know that.
I don't know this.
I
This is
just
new
had
to me.
someone ask me that yesterday. You know, that's what
Yeah.
I was doing. I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I'm with my nieces, or like I was getting presents for my nieces and nephew for Christmas, and they were like, "You have siblings?" And I was
Right.
like, "Yeah."
Right.
I got an older half brother. We got the same dad. He's in his 30s, so you know, growing up, he really was like always working, and you know, he was married and stuff, so he was busy with that. So like, we didn't spend a lot of time. A fun fact: I lived with him till he was about 18, 19, but we never talked to each other. I didn't build a relationship with my brother until 2019 when we worked at Honda together. We never had a relationship before that. It was just like we played the game with each other, but that was about it. We never got on a deep like love connection, like a brother to brother like connection. So since 2019, like, so about 4 or 5 years, I've really gotten to know my brother and build a relationship with him. So back on the question is, I'm a really big family person. I just, you know, being away from family's hard. I'm always putting my family before a lot of stuff, especially my nieces and nephews, just because I never had like a sibling to grow up with. So I built a really good relationship with my niece, and like, you know, she's always calling me. She's always like, when she came over, when I got home yesterday, she walked in the house, saw her grandpa, my dad, and my mom, and the first thing she was like, you know, she calls me Meal Meal. She's like, "Where's Meal Meal?" Like, she's always worried about like where I'm at and stuff. Yeah. So I'll say I'm a really big family person, especially now in these times, because you know, you never know what's going to happen in life. You know, you never know. You know, especially with me being away from family. You know, you rarely get to talk to them. So when you get a phone call, you never know what it's going to be. And, you know, unfortunately, last week, it was my aunt passing. So, you know, that one hit home hard because I was never really, like, with my aunt all the time. Obviously, when I seen her, it was always, "I love you," a big hug. But never really, like, close with a lot of my family. So, you know, over the last few years, I've learned, like, you know, you never know what's going to happen to somebody, especially seeing, like, friends passing or other people's parents, brothers and sisters, cousins passing. Like, it just made me lean to more of, like, being more of a family person and keeping, you know, your family close. So I'd say outside of sports and stuff, that's it.
But, okay, so you kind of answered still surface, but we need to get a little. Let's dive into the deep end. Like, what do you like? What do you don't like? What do you?
Big music person. Love music.
Yeah, he is a huge. That one I do know. You are a huge NBA YoungBoy fan. Yeah, I don't know why, but
people think that is the only person I listen to.
Bro, because that's like, at the time, because you were getting big off of NBA YoungBoy posts.
Oh yeah,
like you were getting
TikTok,
yeah. You were getting big off.
Everybody thinks I only listen to YoungBoy. I'm obviously a big YoungBoy fan, a YoungBoy stan. Like, I love his music because like the things he talks about sometimes, like if I'm going through something, like I kind of relate to it, and like I just like, not to like the point where like, you know, he grew up how he grew up. I didn't grow up that way, but like, you know, some certain stuff that he's going to at this age, like we're the same age, so like mentally, I don't look at it as he's famous and he's from the streets, so like I'm looking at it as a mental thing, like.
The reason why I don't obviously relate is because I see the image, and like that's something that I've been trying to work on more this year, is like not judging a book by its cover. Mm-hmm. So hearing you talk about it, because I put like him, Rod Wave, Dirk, Kodak, I kind of put all of them in the same image as like rah streets, because I'm a very artistic creative person. So like if I can't relate to their image, that I can't listen to their music. Mm-hmm. But you look past that. Yeah. So besides YoungBoy, you listen to who else?
I listen to a lot of different music. YoungBoy is my favorite. I always like put this separate. YoungBoy is like my favorite rapper, my favorite artist. So like how I listen, like list of artists as like, you know, they can rap, they can get, you know, they can switch up how they make their music.
Can I guess? Would it be a person I wouldn't think?
He's a really well known like big guy. But
Okay, so
a lot of people probably wouldn't guess like that's probably my favorite artist.
I was gonna guess Juice.
Nah,
oh, wow.
he's one of my favorite artists, but Trippie Redd's my favorite artist.
Oh, I knew that one too though.
I love Trippie Redd. I gained that love for him in high school just because of like how he made his music and like how he's developed as an artist. But
I think he fell off though.
Yeah,
you could definitely.
Oh yeah,
tell me if I'm wrong.
I agree.
Okay.
You know, he had his run to like 2018, 2019, man.
Which
like,
is sad, bro.
When he dropped that "I Love Letter to You" 3 and 4, and then "Life's a Trip," I'm like, man, dude is like unstoppable. But then like I just think he just couldn't keep up with all the new upcoming art. That's when Baby was getting hot. Dirk started picking up. Like YB obviously really started picking up. So like,
what's his name? Rod really started picking up.
So it's just like it's kind of hard to compete when those mainstream rappers are getting up. But yeah, like Trippie's my favorite artist. You know, I listen to pop.
No, you don't. Who you listen to pop wise?
Pop, not pop. I wouldn't say pop. I say like more like smooth, like you know, vibey,
like R&B, like what?
R&B, yeah. I say like R&B.
Okay, so who?
So like Brent Faiyaz, I listen to him.
Okay.
Reek really got me starting to listen to J. Cole a little more.
J. Cole's good. I'm not gonna talk.
I really been listening to a lot more Drake. At first, I was just like,
this cat. It's the light skin stance, bro.
I'm telling you, I really never used to. You can ask any. I never used to listen to Drake.
And I'm not saying that Drake is trash. Drake is obviously amazing people, but it comes to a point where like you're making the same type of music.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's like, just how I put it.
It's hard for me because like I never really listened to Drake, so I
get that.
I started listening to him a little more. I like Giveon. Is that
Giveon.
Yeah,
wow, I want to guess that. Okay.
I listen to a lot of old school R&B too, like Alicia Keys, old Chris Brown. Like I listen to a lot more music than people think.
Yeah, I would never guess that. Okay, so that's the music side. What else? What do you like? What do you don't like? What are some pet peeves? Because again, I'm still learning you, bro. I don't know anything. So
man,
please,
it's hard. Pet peeves. I get
anything. You could say literally anything about yourself that I obviously don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
It's hard.
You can't talk about yourself.
I never really talk about myself.
Whoa, you're doing it, bro. So come on.
I say pet peeves is just like, I feel like it's just a general one, like fake love, but like I like it. Like just I think I'm good at reading. I think I'm really good at reading people. Like I can pick up someone's vibe. Just like I don't even have to talk to you. Just being around you, I can kind of pick up on the type of person you are. Like, you know, I could tell who's like a people pleaser. You're just doing this because you need something. Like, I'll have people text me and like I just won't even respond back because I know you're only doing it because
out of spite, basically.
Yeah, like when my aunt passed, I obviously posted about it and I had people sliding up prayers or I'm here if you need anything. Like I'm not even paying attention. Like I have people still left on delivery from that, and that was last week because I know like you don't mean it. And even if I reply back, you're not gonna reply back. Or if I do hit you up and I like need someone to talk to, you're not even gonna talk to me. So like I'll say like I'm just like a really closed off person. Like people might say I'm like shy or like think I just have an ego because I won't talk or like I'm kind of all standish, but it's just because like I'm not gonna open up to you or like talk to you if I really don't feel like it's genuine. And I've growing up I say like I wasn't shy. I was shy and quiet, but at the same time, it's just also me just reading the room, like who you are as a person. And once I can figure out who you are as a person, I've obviously been played a few times. Like, okay, I do think this person is genuine, like, and they obviously weren't at the end of the day. But I'm gonna say I'm more just standoffish because I'm just reading like who you are as a person.
So it's interesting because like that was actually going into question number 3. So, but I'll take question number 3 and switch it for question number 2. So because you specifically brought up that point, question number 2. Is I feel that you have had this persona of being closed off or alone. Where did this start, and are you wanting to change it?
I'd say how it started was just growing up, like not having a lot of friends or just like having moments of, you know, middle school, elementary school, like where people like purposely embarrass me or like try to embarrass me or
like how?
Like just pick on me,
for like
crack joke, like just like, you know, obviously like I had braces. I didn't get braces till like middle school, but like my teeth was messed up, or I was a kid with the low cut, like just a low ball fade cut. Like going to predominantly like whiter schools, like those kids are just gonna pick on you. Or like I was always like the one, like out of there was like probably like 5 or 4 black kids or black people just in the where I
Just
was
school
at.
in general.
Like like
Yep.
you're just like standoffish, or you're just different. Or like if I was around like my culture or like my black people, like growing up, those people, all they knew was just like, you know, what they saw. So like their parents was like into drugs or like doing shit you're not supposed to. Oh my bad, doing stuff you're not supposed to.
Say what you. This is a free country.
Not doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. And like that's how like I feel like growing up, the kids around me, like that's what they saw, especially black kids. So like I wasn't doing stuff like that, and so like people always thought like, oh, like you're white, or like you're a white black kid, or like you're different, or like because I wasn't doing those stuff.
Literally every black person who went to accounting school, and we know who we are, we have gone through that. But continue. I just wanted to say that.
Like I went to the city schools growing up. Like I was in the Springfield City School District, so I was around like kids who were like weren't into the stuff I was into. So like I was standoffish. Like all I did was want to play video games and play basketball. Like other kids wanted to just get in and do shit you're not supposed to do, sneak out, or like go somewhere your parents told you not to go, or like do shit you're not really supposed to be doing. And like how my mom raised me, like her side of the family, like the background's kind of hard. Like they were doing stuff they weren't supposed to be doing, and my mom didn't want me growing up in that.
She didn't want to repeat with the next generation.
Yeah, so like, you know, how I carry myself is just like I was just kind of standoffish and quiet kid. So like people would make fun of that, or like say like just like crack little jokes or stuff like that. And like growing up, you know, people just try to do stuff just to like, you know, like they'll always make fun of like, oh, you're a quiet kid, or like you just try to make me feel like it's wrong for being standoffish or quiet.
So is it specifically because you are? Is it? It's been a day, people. Okay, is it specifically because you were picked on in school, or was it something else that happened in home that caused you to be that, or is it because of what you just said, like your mom didn't want a repeat of the next?
I'll say it's like a good mixture of it all.
Okay,
like,
elaborate.
In school, obviously, I used to get made fun of for like dumb stuff, or like there was just always like I wasn't the popular kid or like the funny kid in class or something. So like those popular kids who had that clout as a 10-year-old, they will always try to.
Just crazy to think about, but go ahead.
They always try to make you the ass of the joke, or like,
right.
They always try to point you out or like try to mess with you. And you know, at that young age, I was trying to make myself involved with those people so they'll like me, and so like, they'll just like always crack jokes or something. And then like,
so you see that obviously didn't work out. So then you became a standoffish person.
Yeah.
So how did that? Because that still kind of carries into you today too.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say like I'm a big overthinker. If I do anything, I always think of like I overthink it. I'll say an example is like if I do something and someone says something about it, like not in a wrong way, but like I feel like if I always think like, damn, like did that bother them? Or like now I'm thinking like, damn, did I do something wrong? Or like are they thinking bad about me? Like I'm always thinking what the next person is thinking about me when I shouldn't. Like I had a stage in life like a few years ago where that would really get to me. Like I'm always trying to like do stuff so people would think good of me instead of like doing it for myself.
Are you afraid of like making mistakes, or like how does that? You are.
Yeah, I'd say like now I'm starting to get out of that mindset. Like it's okay to make mistakes. You learn. Like I think it's good to have mistakes because you can learn from them. But I'd say before that, you know, mental health, like my mental health wasn't the greatest. And I feel like as a man and like in this generation that's growing now, like it's hard. Like back like a few years ago, it was hard to open up about that because people would just think you're weak.
And that's so funny because like, I mean, obviously I grew up in a different household than everybody in the freaking world. So, you know, me being with 2 women, like you kind of had to talk about your emotions to a sense, like, and obviously I don't know your background. So like, you know, we kind of had a very poor background, but like, you know, with that mindset of, you know, being poor and then going to school and having to like, you know, make you seem like you're not poor and all that stuff, like it always bothered me that I wasn't able to just talk about it. Like, you know, why are we poor? Blah, 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 blah. But as I got older, I saw that my family was still very like, we don't necessarily have to have emotions. But like now it's like, you know, guys, it doesn't make sense that we have all this traumatic stuff and we're not able to talk about it. And like literally when we had a cousin Christmas, which was all the big cousins. We came together. We talked about all our trauma stuff, and we're like, you know what? This day moving forward, we're going to go back to our households and be like, hey, this is what you did to me. This is what happened. This is how I feel. We just need to squash it and move on. And I feel like that's so important for people, especially at our age, to really learn to let go from stuff that happened, from being picked on, from being the outcast, from being whatever. Because like, how else are you going to be expressive as time goes on? Because like, when you have a partner, when you have close people who are like, you don't talk much, how are you able to talk if you can't? So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
If you want to add something,
I'd just say like, I was never really want to show my emotions.
Do you do that now?
Yeah, I like to certain people or to an extent.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna show emotion. Like if I'm feeling a certain way about something, I'm just not gonna instantly. I don't instantly talk about it.
Why are you so closed off? Besides of you being made fun of and be like the family aspect.
I say like I'm a person that reacts off my emotions. So like if something happens or if it's bothering me, I react off of it before thinking it through.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing to an extent, obviously.
I say to an extent just because I say like I've burned bridges with people because of like I'm reacting off my emotions.
I agree with that. Yeah, I have to.
And so like when I react off my emotions, they react off their emotions, and we're just butting heads, and then it gets to that point where like it's just kind of like you just saying forget each other. It's happened with friendships, it's happened with relationships, like it's happened with a lot. So I'd say like I'm learning to especially I had a very hard breakup with my ex-girlfriend, and so
this dude's on the money, bro. Keep going.
So it's helped me learn, like I think I needed it because I learned how react off my emotions, or if something's bothering me, talk about it, because when it's bothering you, it just consumes you up so much inside, and it builds so much like emotions and anger. When something else happens, you just blow up.
So with that, now that you understand emotions and words like anxiety, depression, whatever, like how do you handle that in today's time? Because like you said that you open up to an extent, but like how else do you express, I guess, is a better question.
I think I've just learned that you don't have to have people there to give you advice like back. I always looked for the answer. So like if I was going through something or like something was bothering me, I always looked for the answer instead of just someone loaning me their ear. And like I feel like just getting it out makes you feel better instead of just like,
but how do you get it out if you don't?
I talk to certain people. Like,
okay, then I'll keep it at that.
Yeah, I go to Reek all the time.
Shout out Reek
about everything.
Shout Reek, you keep getting brought up, bro. You must be a great guy. No, I'm kidding,
I always go
great.
to Reek. That's really or Mace. That's my guy too. I go to those two, or I have really been big on just like taking a walk. Like during the last summer when I was going through all that with my ex-girlfriend and stuff, like I did more stuff for me. So like something was bothering me, I learned not to just sit there and let it bother me. I put my phone down, I go on a walk. I picked up on reading a little bit. Like just I think finding little stuff you enjoy when you feel like you don't want to open up about it. Like I always thought distractions were bad. Like if you're trying to distract yourself from what's going on instead of trying to face it, but actually those distractions, as you like build them up more and more and more, and like doing the stuff you love, like it helps you. Like I feel like it just helps you get like a clear mind. Like
I wouldn't call them distractions then.
Yeah, like I always looked at them as distractions though, just because like I'm not focusing on like what the problem is, but like
that's not a distraction though.
I know. Like
no, I just don't agree with the word, but I just hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I've learned that it's not a distraction. It's like falling back into like what you love,
right?
Like,
okay,
you feel good about yourself, getting back to how you want to be instead of just like focusing on a problem. Like the problem's always gonna be there. It's the matter of what you do to help overcome it. Really.
Okay, so yeah, we can do it. Okay. So with that, because you talk about relationships, and who cares? So you were in question number 3. You were in. I'm not going to say the question says you were in a very deep relationship. I don't know if it was deep or not, but you were in a relationship. How did that experience change on how you view yourself pursuing a woman?
Man,
And then again, because I think something that young men really forget is that effort is a thing, people. So, and it's not just effort on one side, it's effort on both sides. So choosing to pursue someone every day is real work. People who have been in marriages for 20, 30, 40, 50 years is work, people. They are choosing each other every day. But as young adults, we kind of captivate to like, oh, she's pretty. Want to have sex? Let's do it. And then you're a year in, and then you're like, dang, you do this? I hate you. And then you guys never talk again. So it's like, understand if you guys want a relationship, it takes work. But for you, I never saw the resolve. So if you're comfortable about like talking about the relationship and then answer the question.
Yeah. So I was in a actual relationship for 6 months, but like before that, like we talking stage, cis generation's crazy.
Real quick, because this is not gonna be on the camera. Is this?
Nah, this is my recent girlfriend. Are you talking? Oh man, nah, I was in a recent relationship.
I didn't know that either, though.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can talk about both.
Okay. So should I? let me think. Should I ask the question again? No, just go. Go ahead.
So
no. Let me get some clarification. Okay. So my question was based off a relationship he had in high school, because that's the relationship that I knew that he was in.
Yeah.
But he has told me that this was a recent relationship. Yeah. So can you talk about both? You look uncomfortable, bro. What's going on, bro?
It's funny.
What's going on, bro?
I never really talk about them.
Oh, so. I mean, again, if you're ready, go ahead.
Because it's like when you're going through the situation and stuff.
Is it current?
Nah, not anymore.
Okay.
Like it's kind of funny because me and Jalen are that's my ex from high school, Jalen. We're actually like good friends.
Wow, shout out Jalen, bro. Okay,
that's like I wouldn't say good friends, but like you
guys
like,
are cordial.
Yeah, there's no beef. Like,
yeah.
If she needs something, she can come to me about it. If I need somebody, I can go to her about it.
Would you ever do it again?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Because like, at the time we're
young.
17, 18,
yeah,
so
you're
like,
young.
We don't know what's going on. We got to see, like, we thought we were, you know what I mean? Like, our minds are in different places. But
yeah, go ahead. My fault.
Yeah, I was in a relationship in high school. We dated for I think 2 years. That's this crazy thing. It feels like it was so long ago. So we dated. We went to 2 different high schools. I forgot how we met.
She went to Shawnee.
Yeah, she went to Shawnee. So she was in the Shawnee district, but she went to STEM.
Got you. Yeah, she was
at
the
Global Impact. But I forgot how we met. I think it was through some mutual friends, maybe. But we dated in high school, my sophomore and junior year, and then we broke up. It was both sides. I feel like it was needed. I feel like at the time, just me. I feel like a lot of it I needed to grow as a person. I feel like I was really immature in how I handle situations. Like we'd argue a lot because like she's trying to express how she's trying to feel about something, and I take it as like she's trying to say I'm never doing anything right.
She's coming at you. That's how you feel. Yeah.
And so like when at the time, like when I feel like she was coming at me, I'll go right back at her, and all we did was argue. And we had some very bad arguments, like fuck you, like I hate you, like all it was very bad arguments. Cause I was just hard headed, and I just always thought I was right, or like I was never doing nothing wrong. So like I feel like in a relationship, you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like you have to look from their side as well. You just can't look at it from your side. So like you might think you're doing something right, or you're treating them right, doing this right, but in reality, like if they're coming to you, they want to fix it. They want to, if they're, I'd say, open and mature enough to approach you with it, like, hey, like this is how I'm feeling, like I want you to do this more, do that more, like in a reasonable manner, like something like actual like reasonable, not like I want you to take me out more, like do this more because you've seen it on social media, like more because it's like coming from a genuine, because they want the relationship to work. I feel like you have to put yourself in their shoes, like okay, I gotta see how I'm making them feel, or like why they're feeling this way. And like I never thought that way. I always thought I was right, or I always thought she was just coming at me, or I thought it was petty. Like obviously some of it was and some of it's not. Like you're gonna have your petty arguments in your relationship, but like I feel like at the end of the day, you have to put yourself in someone else's shoes or your partner's shoes and look at from their point of view when you're doing actions. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and they're asking me to fix this. I gotta see what I'm doing now, why it's making them feel this way. So like, it was from both sides. We still, like, in my senior year, we went back and forth between, you know, dating and non-dating, and then when I went off to college, we just finally ended it. But it was like a mutual thing, and like now we're like really good friends. So that's
and then going to the most recent ex.
That's a hard one. That's just so my senior year in college, we were just like friends with benefits. She was in the, you know, I really don't even care. She was like the campus hoe, like.
Wow.
And
shout out to her.
She was known for. She was known
no, that's
for,
crazy, Jameel.
I'm serious, bro.
He said she was known. That's what's
like.
up.
I'm not even like mad like about it, like even saying it, because it's like the facts. But
hopefully she watches this and has an open mind. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you just gotta be realistic. Like, you just have to be real with yourself. But me,
so funny, bro. Go ahead.
But we were just friends with benefits my whole senior year. But we started to grow feelings. Like when you spend so much time with somebody,
it's gonna happen. It's
like,
gonna develop.
And
it's gonna develop. Yeah.
I just feel like having sex, like that. That's like a soul tie. Like, you're creating a soul tie with that person. Like,
I'm gonna say it after what you got to say. Go ahead.
So like we were doing it all the time. So like obviously feelings are going to develop. And so when I was graduating, kind of just like, you know, what are we going to do? Like we have feelings for each other. So we tried it, and it was rough just because of distance. We were hours away from each other. She was in Toledo, I was in Springfield. So like it's 2.5 hours. So like it's hard. So like a lot of it was over the phone, distance and stuff. First time we were doing distance. Butt heads a lot and all that. She went back to school at Bluffton because she was going for her senior year, and then I was going back. I was going to my job in Cleveland, so we're 2 hours apart still. I was going every weekend this year, all this and that, like doing a lot because like it was my first relationship since high school. So like 4 years you're in a relationship. So I was like, you know, I learned a lot as a person. I learned, you know, just seeing what goes into relationships and stuff. So I tried to do all the right stuff. Like, obviously, I wasn't perfect. I was still in that mindset of when arguments happen, I thought I was right. I thought I was doing this and all that. But in reality, I was getting cheated on the whole time, basically. So.
In the most recent one?
Yeah.
Dang.
I found out in the hardest way.
Like someone told you, or like you saw something?
So we broke up. There was a time we were there, and I was there, and we were at a party, and her ex was there, and she ran to the bathroom crying. Never really knew why. Never really got an explanation. Like I was trying to check on her. Like her friends were around her, and they're like, "Nah, like we got this." I'm like that's my girl. Like I'm trying to like, why is she crying about her ex? And then I guess there was like a situation where I have a really close friend that was still going to the school at the time, but they didn't like each other, and I'd rather I don't know, it was hard. They didn't like each other, and me and her were really good friends, but, you know, we kept, out of respect for my relationship, our friendship, we kept a distance, but we were still really good friends. Like, if we needed something, we would call each other or something like that. And she started talking to her ex at a club, and I brought it up to her and basically just kind of lied, and then it just kind of made me think back to a lot of stuff. But basically, after we broke up, we had a mutual friend, and the mutual friend was like just letting it all out what she was doing during the relationship. And like I didn't want to believe it, because like when you're in love with someone, like you just think that person is
the perfect, like they're just the one.
Like they're telling you this stuff, and you're just like, nah man, like that's not her. Like I know her, and at the end of the day, I knew her. I thought I knew, like I had an image painted in my head who I thought she was.
Did you think you changed her because of the relationship?
Yeah, like I thought I could change her, and obviously, obviously I did.
Bruh,
I just feel like I was like,
yeah,
I was the bigger person. Like I feel like no one else would have looked beyond her past, and like I took the chance looking beyond the past, and it basically like fucked me over.
Yeah. So with that, all that stuff has happened, both relationships. So it's like, now that you've been through both experiences, how do you view pursuing women? Like, is that something that you're wanting to, or do you want to finish all the stuff that you're doing with your career in college, masters? Like,
I feel like how my mind works, I feel like you really just can't like be like, no girlfriend, no wife, no women. I'm focused on my dreams and all that, da da da. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's life. Like
either it will happen or it won't.
Yeah, like you can't have it set like I'm not getting married, I'm not having a girlfriend. I'm like, if it happens, it happens. Like God's plan, like they're gonna put people in your life, or they're gonna have this situation because God's doing it for you. Like it's either gonna be good for you. It's either, like I've learned through the most recent relationship, like it's either gonna be a lesson or it's gonna be good for you. And the last relationship was obviously a lesson for me because I've learned it's really taught me how to really like love myself and like be at peace. Like I think right now is the most peace I've been at and happy I've been with life.
Jeez,
like,
I feel that. Yeah.
Like I'm like, I don't mind being alone. I don't mind not talking to girls. Like I don't mind just like I've enjoyed life so much now than what I have like my whole life.
And I think one main reason why I wanted to ask that question is because so recently, for me, like his ex-girlfriend, I was a hoe for a long time. No offense to her, but I was around a lot like a few years ago, and like I'm gonna call myself out on here, but there was a time where like I was at this lunch table. I'm not gonna say who was there. I'm not gonna say the people. I was at this lunch table, and like literally everyone at the lunch table was like they were just making fun of me, like Zion, you're blah 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 blah, you're X, Y, and Z, and blah 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 blah. So I stood up and I was like, you know what? Because everyone at the table was in relationships but me. So I was like, I'm letting you guys know I'm going to F every single one of your girlfriends before high school's over, and I did. Okay, so I burned a lot of bridges there, and like that kind of turned into something after high school, because then I did it again with like a few friends and all that stuff, and like I saw what I was becoming, and I was like, bro, like first of all, why am I doing this? Like that's just so stupid. Like getting revenge that way is the worst. So like recently, like I'll say like a few weeks ago, I started going through a lot of like people that I had sex with, and I was like, you know, I wonder why I have such an attachment to you, but it's because of soul ties, like you were talking. So I'm like, you know, some days I'll wake up like I wonder what she's doing, and I'll go view their social media or whatever. But then like, you know, I had to have like tough conversations with these people of like, you know, why do we never work out? And then, you know, like they'll say what they had to say, but I'll say for me, it was the most peaceful conversation ever, because it's like not only were we kids, and you know, friends benefits was obviously the main in everything that we were doing as kids, but like you see how big soul ties are. Like that's something I never believed until like you saying it. I'm like, wow, soul ties are really real. But
like,
go ahead.
I've had that like my senior year of high school. I was known for that. I was messing with one girl I went to school with. I was still messing with my ex. I was messing with like multiple girls, and like I feel like inside, you know, it's not who you are as a person, but like that's just what everybody else was doing.
That's what everyone else was.
So you're just like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
And honest to God, bro, I blame, and I shouldn't blame, because like I mean I obviously forget it now, but like when I went to Springfield, I went to Springfield my sophomore year of high school, and I knew that I was gonna lose my virginity at marriage, bro. But there was one day we were at a track meet, and like everyone's going through, oh, I hit her. And like, Zion, who you hit? I'm like, I didn't hit nobody. Oh, he's gay. And like everyone's making me like make fun of me. So like I thought for that moment, I was like, okay, in order for me to feel like a man or feel like accepted by them, like I would have to lose my virginity, and I regretted it ever since that day, bro. Because like it becomes an addiction. It becomes like, go ahead.
Like getting girls is just like, society just makes you feel like that's what you're supposed to do as a man.
Yeah, and it's just so dumb. But like how I view it now is like, you know, because like you're at peace. I'm getting a place where I'm getting to peace about myself, because like something that has changed a lot is like, you know, like my appearance, how I feel about myself and all that stuff. Like I'll definitely give 100,000% to somebody else for support, but like for me, it's like, okay, you know, I'll get to myself at a certain point, and like, you know, it's kind of really disregarding, obviously, to lose yourself. So I'm going into a phase where it's like, I do care about me. I want to celebrate myself and all that stuff. But I feel like, in order for men to pursue women, you have to have some sort of foundation about yourself. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how, whatever else you got to say about that.
I'll say that. I think the last relationship kind of taught me that, like, you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. Like, I thought I loved someone because I had an image painted of who I thought they were, who I want them to be, because I thought it would fit me,
and because of the time that you spent, and like that. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation, bro. But like,
I just think, I feel like in life, going through hard breakups with the girl is necessary. Like,
I've only had one. I've only been in one relationship ever.
I feel like going through a hard breakup with a female is going to happen, and I feel like it should happen because, like, at the time when it happened to me, I'm thinking, like, why me? Like, why is this happening? Like,
why, Lord?
Like, why is God doing this to me? Like,
right.
Like, God, I'm struggling. Like, I feel like I ain't got no one. Like, I feel like I'm losing my world. But I think it's just like a teaching. Like, it teaches you about love, and I think more importantly, this teaches you about yourself and, like, who you should be, who you are as a person, and who you should be as a person.
And I commend you for that, bro. But like, I think it's always important for people our age to like really talk about relationships and like, how the men should be, and how we should be obviously leaders and protectors, however you guys view relationships. But yeah, if you guys are at home, have more conversations about that stuff, because I'm tired of seeing trash men.
The media relationships are not what it should actually be.
It's
like,
not.
Don't
what
let
it
the
is.
media show you who you should be, how you should be in a relationship, because it's not.
And then like I get it's also hard because maybe like you guys, or specifically me, I didn't grow up with parents who were together, so it's like how do you see what a relationship looks like if you've never been in one? So like that causes us to look at media and do X, Y, and Z. But
even if your parents are together, like maybe they didn't have the best relationship, so like you really don't know what a good like model of like what a real
and then the best way to kind of look at that is like, if you don't want it done to you, don't do it in a relationship. Mm-hmm. That's all I can say, people. Moving to question number 4. Wow. Do you hold any grudges from your past? And are you learning to let them go, or have you let them go?
Man, I used to hold grudges bad.
Do you have any grudges that you want to share?
No, I really wouldn't. Like, I'd say the biggest one was my ex, obviously, because of what she put me through. But I let it go, because all it did was, like, I feel like holding grudges, all they do is just tear you down mentally, and like, I feel like you're holding on to bad, negative energy. Like, I'd say, like, God plays a big part of my life. Like, I've gotten closer to God through this time. So, like, I feel like holding
Congratulations.
Grudges. Thank you.
Because I'm trying to get there, too. Congratulations.
I feel like holding grudges is just, like, it's the devil playing tricks on you. Like, it's the devil holding on to you. And I feel like if you let go of grudges and you let go of what that person did, because that person could have did something to you years ago, like, why is that affecting you now? Like, all they're doing is just stopping you from growing. So I wouldn't say I hold any grudges now. I say before I used to hold grudges, and I feel like that's probably why, who I was at that time. Like, I had a short temper. I just had a short fuse. Like, if someone did something wrong, the slightest, it just set me off, and I wouldn't talk to that person no more.
So with you letting go, especially with like your recent relationship, did you guys ever have a conversation after everything, or like have you just kind of just like, it's over with, I don't want to talk to you?
We had mutual conversations, but it was kind of more like me trying to figure out like, why doesn't she want me, or like, why are we not getting back together? So like,
are you still in that mind space? Not necessarily in that place, but are you still in that mind space of you saying to yourself like, why don't you want me? Like, why did
I think people don't notice, only close friends, but I'm in therapy.
As you should be. Everyone should be.
Yeah. Like, if you're ever
be in therapy,
if you're ever going through anything, or like you feel like I was like this at the time when people were telling me I should, like, therapy is good. Like, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you different. It doesn't make you weird. Like, if you're listening to this, watching this, like, if you feel like you want to do therapy, go to therapy. Having someone to talk to doesn't have a relationship with you is and is like a professional, it actually helps a lot. You know, they open your brain up in many different ways. And, you know, when I was first started going through therapy, I just thought it wasn't working. I'm like, this is pointless. But the more I went, the more I got to open up about traumatic things or like things I was holding on to. Like, you as you get to let those go, you come more at peace and you feel more naturally happy with yourself. But like getting back to what you were saying, it just kind of just let it go. You know, you gotta learn to let go. I forgive everybody for what they do. I feel like people do things to you because they're still learning and growing as a person. Some people do things purposely. Some people don't because maybe they're just not in a good mind space either. Maybe they don't love themselves. Maybe they don't know what they're doing.
No, so. and that makes sense because like going back to like the therapy thing you're saying, one of the main reasons why I wanted to start this is because like obviously like a lot of people don't have, you know, someone to talk to or whatever like that, but it's kind of like an introduction of what could help you later on in life. So like, you know, people think like, oh, come on, bro, like let me just do an interview. Like it's not, I genuinely do want to get to know people on a personal level, but it's more like, you know, what could this look like for you on a day-to-day basis if you learn to let go? Mm-hmm. Because as I talk to the interviewees, it's like, you know, me, it's like, you know, I'm learning to pursue myself and to let go of certain things at the same time. Because it's like, I do want to go to therapy one day, but it's like having conversations with Meal and everyone that I've had in the past. It's like, it's allowing me to be like, okay, now it's time for you to actually go to therapy because like, not only do you have the right mindset, because I feel like just going to therapy and like, you know, you're just angry and like you just wanting to let stuff go, that's not necessarily healthy. I want to have good communication to understand why am I holding on to this, why am I not letting this go. So yeah, go ahead.
Therapy teaches you a lot.
What have you learned?
I've learned that therapy isn't there to just solve a problem and then just be done. What my therapist taught me is just how to open up my mind in different, like the brain is a muscle. So I think the biggest thing that I picked up from it is, you know, when you're going through stuff, it's like picking at a scab. If you keep going back to it or keep thinking about it, it's just like picking a scab. It's a muscle, and you like, you know, when you skid your knee or something, you keep picking a scab, it's going to scar or it's not going to heal. But, you know, if you just let it heal, it heals and you feel better. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
If you go through something traumatic and you just hold on to it and you keep thinking about it and you keep blaming it, like, this is the reason why I'm this way or this is the reason that way, without...
You're going to become it eventually. Yeah.
And, like, I feel like that was just me. Like, why am I always going through stuff? Or, like, why are the people around me so happy? Why are they in happy relationships? Why do they get to do this? And I'm sitting here alone going through all this. But you got to look at it. Everybody's on different paths.
And then, like, with what you just said, like, you know, like the whole alone thing, like, are you, because you're so closed off, like, are you wanting to be more social?
Yeah.
Or, like, are you okay with the circle that you have currently?
I could live with the circle I have now forever, but
yeah,
I've also been trying to open up more as a person. In college, obviously I went to parties, went to clubs, man. Wouldn't talk to a female or talk to anybody in general.
I'm not a club or party person
I'm not
all.
Anymore. I'm out of it now.
Yeah,
I'm out of that stage. Like, I go to bars and sit down and drink with my friends. Like, if they invite me out, like I did that, like at the start of the semester, like in August. You know, I went to the bar with all of my other GAs, workers, and, you know, some friends, and we just chilled and talked. But, you know, like I said back then, I wouldn't talk to nobody. I wouldn't, like, even like other dudes there, like, that look chill, like, or talking to them, like, I wouldn't want to get to know nobody. Like,
that's so funny, because like, and like, I know I'm so opposite from everybody, because like I'm a people person, so like I can go to anyone on the street, in the mall, and anywhere, and literally create a 4-hour conversation off of nothing. So it's always interesting to see people who are like, would you call yourself introverted?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like, yeah, so it's always interesting for me to talk to people who are introverted, because it's like, why are you like ill people. I mean, I'm not saying like you specifically, but like,
No, I used to be.
It's just so interesting to see that dynamic with people, because it's like
I was before, just because like I just never wanted to make an embarrassment of myself. Like, I never wanted to be like the laughing stock, or like
why was that such a thing on you though? Like,
I don't know. It's just how I don't know why I'm like this, like currently going through therapy. We're just talking through stuff, trying to figure it out. But it's just like who just I was. Like I just never wanted to be like the guy getting laughed at, or like, why are you trying to talk to me, or like, I just never wanted to be like, I just never wanted to be that person. But now like I just like I don't care what other people think.
I've never cared, bro, and like that's why, like, if you hear stories about me, 99% they're probably true, but it's like I don't care. I've never cared about anything of what anyone has said. Like I think one of the best memories me and Mill have together, and like I don't know if he's gonna say it, but one of the best memories me and Mill had together is the foundation game at my high school, my senior year, the pledge.
Yeah, you turned your back on
I turned my back on the flag because like that was the year that Colin Kaepernick started, and I was like, wow, I could stand for it too. But like seeing Jameel's face, Jameel, Austin, and Mike's face was the funniest thing of all time, because like Jameel was confused and he laughed, and then Mike was like, oh my gosh, and Austin was pissed, and then my coach at the time.
I'm an unserious person, so I thought it was funny because I'm like, what's dude doing,
bro? Because but I didn't care, but it was like I literally just wanted to stand up for something.
I'm like, I'm one of those people. I'm like, I understand why you're doing it. Like, I respect it. Like, be a Stanford. I'm also like, man, like, what's dude doing?
it was just in that specific area. Like, why would you do that?
I knew the reaction. I knew it. Like, as soon as you did it, I knew what was going to happen.
Bro, everyone in them stands was calling me all types of N-words, boy.
Like, telling you to leave, go back to Springfield. Like,
that was crazy.
I'm like, I thought it was funny. I'm like, man, what's dude doing? Like,
no, but like, yeah, I've just always been that type of person who just didn't care, because I'm comfortable in my own skin. But then it got weird, because like, as I grew up, it was like I started to care less about myself, which was really interesting. So I'm trying to unpack that within myself.
Yeah, I like that you said that, because like I feel like I'm a person who, cares about themselves and does not care about what other people think. I'm thinking to that point. Like,
oh yeah, we're complete opposites.
Yeah, I think it's just like people know, like my close friends and people know me. Like, I'm a positive person. Like, I'm always smiling. I'm always joking. Like, I'm even like that with my team now. My players, like, something bad happens or like we have a bad loss the next day, like I'm the guy in the gym walking through, dapping everybody up, joking with them. Like, I feel like life is about having fun and like trying to, like, I just like putting a smile on people's faces.
It just feels a lot better to be positive. But like, yeah, being negative is just so dumb. Going into question number 5, being in your 20s, what new struggles do you face as a young adult? So obviously, like, as kids, we probably had like certain like addictions or whatever, like, but as a young adult with like financial and, academic and all that stuff, like what struggles do you face now are then that like you're still trying to overcome?
I'd say when it comes to like your everyday life, obviously financial. I'm always thinking about
ways to make money.
I'm always thinking about ways, and that's like the thing I wake up and always think about is like how I gotta make.
How am I gonna touch this million?
Yeah, it's just like how life is though. Like, this is how society is now.
It's crazy, like, bro. Yeah,
everything is just around money. So I'm always looking at ways to make money. Like, I don't make a lot of money doing what I'm doing now, but I always think like, it's God's plan. Like, I'm getting my master's for free. I'm living for free right now. I'm doing this for a reason, no matter how much money I'm making.
And before you go into that, like, something I do want to say is like, I 100% agree with you saying that it's God's plan and all that stuff. But where the difference is that although it's God's plan, He still gave you the ability to do. And I feel like that's what people kind of forget. They're just like, oh, sure, I'll just put it in God's hands. Yeah. That's not what He intended you to do. He gave you the ability, so just use the ability. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and like that's why, like, I think when people say like, oh, it's God's plan, so like they just stop putting the work in. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like God's plan is, all right, He put all this in front of you. What you gonna do with it? And I've learned, I think, as a growing up and like in my young 20s and starting to live on my own more, I've learned that like, okay, I gotta take what I have in front of me and I gotta just put it to the best use, and I gotta put it to the best of my ability, no matter what it is.
And do you feel like you're doing that a lot more now? Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
So what has changed from obviously you being a kid to now? Like so you're understanding more financial and all that stuff. So like, what are you learning more about finances than you did when you were a kid? Obviously, you have to make money, but like
just managing my money, put my money in smart places. Like as a kid, like you want to buy all the shoes, you want to have all the cool clothes. Like I just learned to put my money more and invest in more smart places and not
like.
Obviously saving. I'm $30,000 in debt right now from college, so putting money back. I've learned to when I get paid, like I don't look at payday as like I'm about to go splurge. I'm about to go eat out. I'm about to go buy this. Like I don't get me wrong. Like I spend money on myself when I feel like it's necessary. Like it's like you making it, it's your money. You can't take it to the grave, but you gotta be smart with it. But at the end of the day, I have to put it in smart places, like saving it to pay off my debt, invested it in halftime hoops. So with that is like when it comes to not sponsorships, but like promotions and stuff like that. Buying, like saving, like for Christmas time, like my family, I was like, you don't gotta buy us nothing, but like no, like that's just who I am. Like I want to buy stuff for you guys. You guys did a lot for me. I wanted to show it as like a gift in return. When you get in a relationship, that comes with spending money. Like so I've just learned to manage my money and spend it in the right places and know when to save. Basically, I think that's just the biggest thing. Like,
is there anything that you see now that you kind of want to invest in, like when it comes to? I don't mean that in like a general question, but like stocks or new equipment or stuff like stuff like that.
Not in the stocks. Okay. I don't know nothing about the stock market. I ain't gonna lie.
Don't ask me, bro. I was asking.
But when it comes to my profession and stuff, like investing in like equipment, like when it comes to halftime hoops and stuff like that, like buying like my next purchase. Like I had a PC at one time, but I sold it because I was using it mainly for gaming and streaming. But then I learned like I was doing a lot more on that than just gaming and stuff like that. I was doing like thumbnails for people, halftime stuff for halftime hoop stuff for work. So like I want to make an investment in that because I feel like it's just like an advantage rather than just doing a lot of stuff off your phone. Like little stuff like that people really don't think about. In my opinion, like just put my money in smart places. Like
no, that really makes sense because I mean I'll talk about that at a different time because I could talk about that for days as far as investments and stuff. But I think what people really have to start understanding is like when it comes to the stuff that you want to do, careers, whatever, people like you have to put the right investment into yourself, into what you're doing. Like I obviously agree with using what you have, and that's something that my mom has always taught me for the last however many years. So if you have a smartphone, use a smartphone. A smartphone can do everything a laptop can do. It's just on the phone. But as you get more serious with what you're doing, you are going to have to upgrade to stuff that makes it more accessible. Mm-hmm. Should I go deeper? Go ahead.
And I just feel like, if your profession is like in the media and stuff, with it evolving literally every day, you have to stay ahead of the game. So you have to make those investments.
You do, and like especially when it comes to like streaming or content creation, like you're gonna have to have backups of everything. You're gonna have to have hard drives. You're gonna have to have like, Google Drives, Dropbox, anything that you can think of.
Like this is kind of off topic, but it just kind of sparked me. Like our social media guy for our team, he's a 19-year-old kid, sophomore at the school. And he's like our camera guy. He was on the trip. He was with our recent trip, and he's bringing his big briefcase around. Thought his camera stuff in it. And it's like, what if it like just fell and all broke? He was like, "What? I'll just be like $20,000 gone." I'm like, so we started sitting there talking at dinner, and we're just breaking stuff down. Like, man's camera cost him like 5 bands, like lenses, a band, 2 bands. He's a kid in college, paying to go to school, and like he only gets paid maybe $200-$300 to do what he does for the school, like social media and stuff. But like it's an investment because now he's building himself and his brand, and he does portfolio. He does it. Shout out to my guy Kevin, man.
Kevin, shout out to you, brother.
Shout out to our guy Kev, man. He does an amazing job. That's where I get all my pictures at, like on game days and stuff. But it's like making an investment now, so when the future time comes, like you're great at what you do. You're just staying ahead of the evolving door, or the involvement of social media.
It's literally just practice, because like something that I learned, because a person who was editing for me recently is Tyler, aka Winner. So shout out to him. But I had to tell him like recently, like or actually yesterday, I was like, hey bro, like, because it's a priority, because like I'm still working on getting a car, people, don't worry about that, your mama is ugly. But like, because like that's such a big priority in my life, like I can't keep extending to, you know, pay him for like editing. So I'm literally like, after this interview, I had to sit down and like, because I can do like small like jump cuts and all that stuff, but I want to learn how to put like motion graphics and smooth transitions and all that stuff. So that's something I'm gonna have to work on. So it's like I want to get to the place where I do have a team where it's like I can call up a cameraman, I can call up an editor, I can call up whatever, and be like, hey, I just need you for your expertise, and that's it. But because of the early stages, you have to put the work in to know what you're doing, because once you're able to communicate what you need, the people in that field are able to exceed your expectation. So always understand how to edit, how to whatever you want to do in your life, because there's people in that area who literally do it for a living and they love it.
And I feel like people don't know that's like part of the process.
That's
like,
a part of the process. You have to know
what you're doing and like the field that you're in order to build a team, or in order to excel. Like, I want to be a trainer, skills trainer. Like, going in, I didn't know what I was doing. So like, you have to study other stuff, learn it, and learn. And once you feel like you're good at it, that's when you can expand out and work with other people. Like, you have to learn what you're doing to able to expand and work with other people. Because like, if you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to work with someone who's really good at what they're doing, they're going to look at you like, why would I bring you on if I just have to sit here and teach you everything? Instead of you bring in what you know and what I know, and then we can work that together and build something. You never know what can happen in the future, you know?
Okay, we're going to the last question, people. It's always interesting to get into the last question, because like as a viewer, you guys see it from like, oh, you know, they're just two friends. I have no idea who this person is, people. So like, knowing Jameel more today helps the relationship after, you know, the camera goes off. Because like, I already told him, like, you know, going into next year, I want to sit down with your team, with you and Reek, and like, you know, what can I do for my platform to look more approachable, to look more exciting? What entertainment can I do? Because it's like, you know, something that we talked about earlier is relationships. So it's more than just getting to know someone on this platform, people. I really genuinely want to create long time relationships with people, just because it's important, because it's never about what you know, it's about who you know. So as we go into the last question, I just want to say thank you, Emil, for you know, obviously coming on. So question number 6, last question. Moving forward in your life, what new ventures do you wish to explore outside of what you're doing, bro? Because you talk about sports a lot. So outside of sports, what ventures do you want to do?
I feel like I got 2 that kind of just struck. I feel like one's kind of basic, but I do want to travel.
Do you?
Yeah.
What?
Because like, I've been in Ohio all my life. I've been on vacation once. I went to the Bahamas when I was a kid, but I want to explore and see everything I see on social media for myself. Like, I feel like this is just so small, but like, I get intrigued with like things people probably think is so dumb. But you know, on our way, we were playing a tournament in Kentucky this week, and on social media, and like all you see in Cincinnati is like, you know, the Bengal Stadium and all this and that. And then we drove past it, and I just feel like seeing it in person is just like a different experience. Like, it just like, when we rode past it, I literally sat up in the bus and just watched the whole time as we rode past it. Like, people might think that's weird or anything,
bruh,
like,
it's not. And like, go ahead.
Yeah, like, I want to travel and like see stuff I see on social media and in pictures and videos and stuff. I want to see it from myself. Like, I want to travel to the West Coast to the South, like I want to see what I see on social media and like get that, you know, in person and get to see it for myself.
If you are serious, bruh, I'm a very pick up and go person. So like I have a trip, like I don't know if you, I mean, I'm pretty sure you know RDC World.
Mm-hmm.
So they have their own like Comic-Con in Texas that's happening in July. I'm going there, and I wish I would have told you about this sooner, but yeah, I'm going there. I feel like that would have been a great experience for you, like to see them in person, like all the other YouTubers that
like,
you look at.
I love seeing like even like people that I watch or like admire. Like I went to my first concert this year.
Really?
And I saw one of my favorite rappers, No Cap, and like it was like a small venue, but like being a few feet from someone like I wouldn't say idolized, but like I listen to every day.
You
like,
listen to,
like,
yeah.
I watch them on social media. Like seeing them in person, it's just like it's like when I was
different.
sitting there recording, like it was like breathtaking. I was like, I'm really like seeing like one of my favorite rappers in person.
Yeah, because like I got that from like when I went to Rolling Loud, like seeing who did I see? Seeing Future, seeing Yachty, seeing Don Toliver, Travis, Playboy. Like I was like, dang, I'm seeing all of these people, but like also seeing the people around me, you know, experience it with me too. So it's like, you know, people that you want to see or whatever. Like there's also regular people who are across the world like, man, you like this too, and then you guys get to be nerds together
for sure.
So
like just like Chicago Bulls is my favorite NBA team, and like I just like going to Chicago is like on my bucket list. Like
you haven't gone to Chicago yet?
I told you I don't get out of Ohio, man.
Bruh, we're gonna
like that's why I want to travel.
There's going to be a vlog sometime next year with me and Mill, bro, because
I want to travel and get to see like every place that I have friends who've been to places. Like I have friends who've been to Bulls games who are not even Bulls fans, and like I'm a Bulls fan. I haven't been to a Bulls game, so it's just like I've just always been so, you know, closed off and just.
I got you, bro.
Like all I knew from going from 18 years old to 22, all I did was just want to hoop, and that's all I did. Even you can ask anybody in the summertime, social media. If you saw me, it was either I was working or in the gym. That's all I did.
And like I feel like it's also really important for me to really talk to people like you, like Trey, like Sabe, and like, you know, people like that, because like all you guys really knew was sports, and like that's why I think that. And there's no offense to all of them, but they did make fun of me as kids. We ain't gonna sit here and lie. Like I was the outcast and all that stuff, but like, you know, as we got older, like they respected in a sense, like, oh, you've been doing this since you were, yes, bruh, and I've been trying to get you on it since you were this. But it's like, it's just really cool to see you guys, you know, start to be coming into your own, because it's like you see that there is a world, like there's an actual world outside of sports and outside of whatever. Like that isn't your life. Everything that you see that's around you is your life.
And I think that's from from actually having to put the ball down and like enter the real world. Like I think that just kind of helped and let me see like there's a lot more life than outside of basketball.
There's a lot more life outside of basketball.
All I knew growing up was chasing the dream of basketball. Like even growing up as a kid, like I know all my friends that I'm close with now met them through all basketball. T9 basketball, Save basketball, Mace basketball, Reek basketball. Right. And like all we did when we hung out
was hoop.
Anything, we just went to the Y and hoop.
Just hoop.
And that's how it, like there's nothing wrong with, and like I feel like in the same sense, there's nothing wrong with it because you build such great relationships with those people through sports. And like I feel like sports is important because you build relationships with people.
Yeah, I agree, but I think where it kind of like tilts for me is like that's the only aspect that you can have them in, which is not wrong. But for me, because I'm so diverse into everything you can freaking think of in the world, it's like I have friends in different areas. I've never wanted to be a stationary person because like the world's out there for a reason. Like there's Africa people, there's Alaska people, like, you know, there's certain stuff that you're attracted to, but that your core or whatever isn't going to be, you know, very interested in. So I always have, you know, well-versed everything because I'm just always curious. I'm a curious person, but that's something that you need to travel. Just be more just curious.
Traveling is definitely one of the things I want to do.
We're doing it. Like I said, there's going to be a vlog next year. Like, hey, Mill. But
and then
go ahead.
The other one that when you asked that question sparked my interest was definitely get back into streaming because
let's go. We need it, bro.
Not just
we need it, bro.
Got gaming aspect, but I build relationships with people that I still talk to this day through streaming. And I say like one of my really closest friends lives in Missouri. Another one, he's like only like a 16 or 17-year-old kid, and like I'm 24, but like he's my guy, and he lives in Canada. So it's just like I feel like streaming helps you get outside of the world,
Your comfort.
like you outside your comfort,
Yeah.
the world you know, the world you live in. Like you just get to meet more people and like just get this. They have like a lot of people have a different viewpoints on the world that are good that you might not think of, and like when you meet these people, you can help. Yeah, they just help you grow as a person.
Bruh, do it, bruh. But that was the last question that I have for Jameel today. This is the segment where I allow people to ask me questions. At first, people, I was like, nah, I'm only gonna let them ask me one question. But if you have questions, you can ask them, bruh. If you have any.
I'll just ask one. You know, I ain't just gonna be the guy like, nah, no questions.
No, go ahead.
What is the biggest thing you learned from doing this podcast?
Sheesh. Communication is a real thing. God has blessed me with the ability to talk and to understand, or I'm learning to understand. And to see people come out of the comfort is the most beautiful thing of all time. Like, it's very interesting because I would never, if you guys were to ask me in a million years, would Jameel ask to come onto the episode, I would tell you no, it'll never happen. But him hitting me up and getting inspired by other people is like, it's just a cool thing because like that's what it's literally about. Like, not only am I just sitting here learning about you, but it's like, how can I communicate better as a person? Because when I do get to the real world of do my career on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to be in the rooms with people that that I've either admired or whatever, and I want to have the certain language to talk to them. And if I'm not doing better by my peers, how would I ever get to that point? Yeah. So I think the biggest thing would just be communication is a real thing, and I'm being more appreciative of that. So yeah.
Also, that's something I'm picking up on too. As being a quiet person growing up, like I didn't know how to talk to nobody.
You gotta talk, bro. You gotta.
I've learned how to talk to people. I could sit here and talk to anybody for hours now, just because like. Just knowing how to open, like, it's not bad to open up to
It's
people.
not. Just be open, people. It's not hard.
You can learn about so much from somebody, and, like, you feel like, you're just here to talk to this person for 5 minutes, and you look up, and y'all end up talking for 3 hours.
Exactly, like, bro.
It's nice. Communication helps you. One thing people learn from this episode, or just in life in general, communication helps you build relationships.
It helps you build in general. But with that being said, guys, it has been another episode of NOIZ.I Talks with Friends, episode 32, I believe. So thank you, Jameel, for coming on today.
Appreciate you having me, man. It was a pleasure.
It is NOIZ.I and Mew, and we are out. What you have is beautiful, bro. Musically, creatively, visually, you got it, bro. So I'm not gonna say I challenge you. I hope that you're in a place this year where it's like you know that it's time.